Hi, and welcome to the Prumihimo channel. My name's Prumihimo, and my passion is Kumihimo. And what my aim is to show you some things that you may not have thought about, to take you to different places with your Kumihimo. And today what I want to show you is something super chunky. So sure, sometimes we want our jewellery to be very delicate and refined, but sometimes you want something chunky that makes a big statement. So for today I've come up with this bracelet. Now, the great advantage of something that's as chunky as this is it's very quick to make up. And so the basis of this is satin cord, 3mm satin cord, which really is quite chunky. And 6mm beads, any sort of bead you like. Some Eslon, Text 210, that's the 0.5mm width, and whatever clasp options you want. And of course for this one we're going to use the Prumihimo disc, which is my own invention, and it's a patented product, and it makes a different sort of braid to the round braid that is made on the regular round disc. Now there are two important considerations I want to say before we start, and that is when you're using very chunky cord like this, on whatever foam disc you're using, whether it's my disc, the round disc or the square plate, you really want to use an old disc for this. Keep your newer discs for the finer cords and use this on your older disc. And the other consideration for this is you do need quite a heavy weight to pull the braid through. And so I'm going to use a 100-gram weight for this. If you only have a 50-gram weight, you can add to it by adding a few coins, taping on some heavy coins, or you might have two 50-gram weights you can put together. You might need to improvise, but you do need a bit more weight. So now I'm going to show you a close-up of the bracelet so you can see what we're going to make. So here we have the bracelet stretched out, and we've got the 3mm satin cord, giving the real basis of the bracelet. We've got the Eslon, the beading cord, carrying the beads. And we've got the beads on three sides of the braid. 1, 2, 3, which means that when we roll the braid over, we have a flat side. So that is what will be against your skin. And then I have finished off with end caps that I've wired on. These end caps are 8mm internal diameter, so that's what you'll need for this sort of bracelet. And I have a video on how to do wired on ends that you can follow for that, or you could use a glued on ending if you wanted to. And obviously it looks very pretty fastened as well. So let's see how it's done. So here we have the setup. And as you can see, I've got a dirty old disc. This is one of my older ones because I don't want to stretch the slots too much on a new disc. So I've got my 3mm satin cord, and for this I need 4 cords of 60 centimeters, and that's 24 inches. And you will find all these quantities in the details below this video, and you will also find a link to the page on my website where there's further details about the finer details really of this design and some images for you to look at. So I'll just repeat that. You need 4 times 60 centimeters, which is 24 inches, of your thick satin cord. Then you need 4 cords of 70 centimeters, so that's 28 inches, of your thinner 0.5 Eslon or Ceylon beading cord. And with the Prumihimo disc, you always keep the thick cords in the top and bottom slots with dots at number 1 and at number 2. And you put your thinner cords in the top and bottom slots at number 3 and at number 4. Now for the beads. You can use any size bead you want really. I've found these rather cute rose gold 6mm beads with huge holes, but you don't need the huge holes because with this fine cord you'll be able to get through most beads. And the good thing about this is look how few beads I need for this. So I've actually got 12 beads on both the top cord at number 3, which is this one, and the bottom cord at number 3. And then I've got 11 beads on just the bottom cord at number 4. Now I'm going to show you the braiding. If you've never used this disc before, you would be best to look at one of my videos where I show in detail how to braid. But I'll take you through it briefly here. And because what we're going to do is we're going to drop in the beads in an alternating pattern. So for your bracelet, first of all, you need to do a few rounds of basic Prumihimo braiding to give yourself about 2 centimetres, half an inch. And that's what you need just to be able to attach your clasp. So you will be, as I said before, you will need a heavier weight. Because I've got a table underneath, I'm just going to grip it with my fingers. So my cords might move around a little bit more than yours will. But what we do is we do the first moves in the first sequence. We do the moves at number 1 and 2 as usual. So we do top to bottom, and you can see it's quite tough to get these thick cords into the slots, even on an old disc. But it works. And bottom to top. You might find yourself needing your thumb a little bit more to just push the braid into the centre and stop it from pulling. So this is a different sort of braiding that you may have done before. And then bottom across. So those are my 3 moves: top to bottom to top, bottom across. Now my cords are back on the dots, so I can rotate my disc round, and I'm going to do the same moves at number 2. So I do top to bottom to top, and see how I'm using my thumb there just to stabilize the braid in the disc, and bottom across. Those are my 3 moves. And also every now and then a little bit of a push down with your thumb, because this is much thicker cord than you're probably used to using. Now at number 3, in the first sequence of moves, I'm going to drop in a bead from both the top and bottom. So the way I do that is just let it slip down the cord, keep it in position with my thumb, like that, and then on the bottom move, bottom to top, I drop in another bead and bottom across. And see how I am using my thumb, just tapping it across to make sure they're not jumping out of position. Now in this sequence of moves, when we move round to number 4, we're not going to drop in a bead. So we're just going to do them, and there are no, because we only put the beads on the bottom cord, there are no beads here on the top one. So nothing there. On the bottom, here are the beads, but I'm not going to drop anything in this round. And across. So that's sequence 1. Now I'm going to go round and start again. And this is sequence 2. And this time I'm only going to drop in beads from the cord at number 4. So I do my top to bottom to top, bottom across as usual with the satin cord at number 1. I move round to number 2, top to bottom to top, bottom across. Now at number 3, I'm going to take the opportunity just to tighten up those beads. So I'm going to just pull a little bit on that cord when I do my move, and that will tighten that bead down below. So it's top to bottom, and on the bottom I'm just going to give that a little tug as well. Bottom to top, bottom across. And now at number 4, when I get to number 4, what I'll find is those beads that were on the bottom cord, that cord has now moved to the top. So I'm just going to drop in a bead there. Same thing, just use my thumb to keep it in position if necessary. But I'm not going to drop anything in from the bottom cord, and that's what gives me the flat side to the bracelet. And I mustn't forget my last move. And so I carry on like that. So I now do sequence 1 again, where I drop in the beads from the cords at number 3, top and bottom. When I've completed that whole sequence, then I do sequence number 2, and this time I drop in the beads only from the top cord at number 4. And that will give you the widely spaced alternating pattern. So here's one sequence where I've got them going on the top and bottom cords at number 3, and this is the next sequence where I'm just putting them in at number 4, and that will give you that pattern. So then continue till the bracelet is the right size for you, and that will depend, of course, on your wrist size and also on the exact nature of the cord you're using. And when you have finished it, then you'll be able to finish off either with the wired method as I have here or with the glued method. Well, thank you for watching that, and I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm sure you'll see that it can be made up very quickly. You can make this up in a couple of hours. And I'm sure also you'll be starting to think about how else you could use it, because it would make the basis of a very pretty necklace as well, particularly because with this braid, you've got the flat side, which would lay across your skin, and then you have the beaded side for show. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you've enjoyed the idea of taking your Prumihimo somewhere a little bit different, because I've got a lot more things to show you in the future, and I've also got a great library of videos, over 50 videos now, showing you different ways of using Prumihimo on my disc, the Prumihimo disc, on the round disc, and on the square disc. And you can visit my website for more details about those, or even better, hit the subscribe button, and that means that then you'll be notified by YouTube when I have new videos to show you. So until next time, goodbye.